Hey guys, Ash Lane here. Today we're going to be talking Mass Witch, or the Hocus Pocus strategy. This is a very effective strategy, especially for Town Hall 10s. It is viable for Town Hall 9s as well, but using these same strategy keys that we're going to go over in just a second, you can be a successful attacker using Hocus Pocus for yourself. So why do it? Well, it's very effective for 2 stars, very almost, dare I say, easy against these open layout bases, and you also have a chance, as we'll see, at 3-star attacks at Town Hall 10. So let's talk about the keys to success. Well, composition, placement, timing, and where you enter the base are the 4 components you're going to want to pay special attention to throughout these 4 replays. Now, they're all going to be a little bit different variations, some using wall breakers, some using jump spells. So without further ado, let's hop right into it, and we'll start out with a 3-star attack here by Arham, and he's going to come in with no jump spells. So let's watch how he uses these wall breakers. He doesn't bring a lot of them, but he's going to go ahead and poke some holes through, coming in due south with his golems. You'll see he does have the Mass Witch. He has 7 witches plus his clan castle, and he has 2 rage spells, 2 freeze spells, and 1 lightning spell. So watch how patient he is with these golems right here. He's going to make sure he clears out the side units so no one gets distracted. Sneak in a couple wall breakers at just the right time here. There he goes. It makes a hole there, and then he's going to allow enough timing for these witches to get into the base. He's going to deploy that last golem, and here comes all the witches. So I said witches, I meant golems. You want to allow enough time for those golems to set off or trigger any giant bombs, because that's going to be your biggest enemy in these type of raids. So make sure there's a little bit of distance between those golems and the first wizards, and then your huge witch and hero army. So you can see here, Arham's going to sneak in a few more wall breakers and almost barely make a hole there in the center area. He gets those blue walls down a little bit, and then finally there's a hole in the center, and the queen's going to go over there, and there's going to be plenty of skeletons actually providing enough backup for her, because you can see with the 2 rage spells, he had the luxury of using them when he felt appropriate. When there's only 1 rage spell, as we're going to see with the rest of the attacks on this guide, you're going to note that it's you have to be a little bit more picky about when you use your first rage spell, and usually it's towards the beginning of the raid, right around when you're going to engage the clan castle in the middle of the base. But in this circumstance, Arham has plenty of options with the 2 rage. He's able to go ahead and use them both very effectively here. You will note that one of the Inferno Towers is set to single. If you see bases like this in your clan wars, guys, where there's 1 single target Inferno, 1 multi-target Inferno, and you're kind of wondering what army to use, I'd highly recommend going Mass Witch. You almost can't go wrong. You want to start the raid towards the multi-side of the Inferno, regardless of where the clan castle is. Start the raid towards the multi-Inferno. That way you can go ahead and freeze it. Now this is going to be a 6 witch GoWiWi, so it's around that borderline of the Mass Witch attack. But another attack by Woody. This is a 3-star attack over 4,200 cups. This is very impressive. You'll note that Woody does not have max heroes as well, so he's going to go in from a whole different angle. He only has 1 jump spell, so he's going to have to spread out his golems a little bit, make sure no one goes off course, and then you can see a really effective kill team is going to come in right in the middle there while that golem goes to work due south. They're all going to funnel towards that multi-Inferno Tower. Once again, Woody went into the multi-Inferno Tower. That way you can take care of it when you have all that firepower under rage spell, and you're also sitting on the freeze spell. So you just want to take care of that earlier in the raid. That gives you a good shot at 3 stars later on in the raid, so you don't still have to deal with a multi-Inferno Tower. Now, Town Hall 9s obviously don't have to deal with Inferno Towers, but they obviously don't have freeze spells either, so that really won't make a difference to you guys. If you are attacking a Town Hall 10 as a Town Hall 9, you really want to go against the Inferno Towers that are both on single target. So, if you're a Town Hall 9 and you see in Clan Wars that there's a Town Hall 10, maybe a little bit lower on the map that you can target, that has 2 single target Inferno Towers, you can actually use this strategy. And if your heroes are high enough, or if the base's defenses are low enough, you might pull off a 3-star attack on a Town Hall 10 and really impress your clanmates. So you can see here, these witches, plenty of witches still alive, plenty of wizards. The queen is still alive, kind of sniping everything from her little perch in the middle of the base there. And the great thing about this strategy is, after this big update with all the new Dark Elixir spells, I don't think it's gonna handicap this attack at all. I think it's still gonna be a strong, viable attack. Now, this the 6 witch strategy here is actually better to use when trophy hunting, because you can be more flexible depending on what type of base you get. Now, this is a 2-jump Hocus Pocus example. These last 2 attacks will be 2-star attacks, but they'll be very convincing wins. So this is going to be a clump of golems. Now, I did notice a note in the beginning of this video that you want to note the timing and the spacing and the entry point. So Woody's going to come, Bernard rather, is going to come in from the corner of this base due east, and he's going to drop that first jump spell, then wait a bit, and then drop the second jump spell. So that way the second jump spell doesn't expire, because the witches tend to linger back and summon those skeletons, so you don't want to drop that jump spell right off the bat on the second one. And you can see the witches are still standing outside the jump spell, so you got to allow plenty of time so it doesn't expire. They're still outside the wall, finally going to start jumping over, and that's only good for 60 seconds, that spell, so you want to make sure you don't drop it right off the bat. I've seen some witch raids go down in flames due to that exact misplay by the attacker. So you can see here he finally drops that Barbarian Iron Fist ability. Now, a good time to drop that would be when you're about to engage the second Inferno Tower. Why? Because all the Barbarians summoned allows the multi-Inferno targets to pick up on other things, anything but the witches, right? So skeletons, barbarians, Barbarian King, Archer Queen, Golems, that's all fine, but just not the witches. So you want to do everything you can to protect those witches. You can see he's at 60%, and he made it look pretty easy, the 2 stars. That's because it is kind of easy. This is a very powerful strategy. It's not just, a fun little thing to do. And if he had a bigger sniping team, he could have gotten more. This is me, yours truly, coming at you with the last raid on the highlight reel here. And it's going to be very similar to the last attack. However, I choose to go in towards the clan castle and deal with that right off the bat. Now, I have 4 golems, and I have all these witches as well. I didn't notice right before I placed them down, but somewhere to the tune of 10-ish witches. You can see, once again, the spacing, allowing the golems to trigger those giant bombs. I held off on the second jump spell, just dropped it. And you can go see, I'm going to go ahead and use my freeze pretty early on, because I didn't want that multi-target to start targeting my witches. Now, my Barbarian King goes south with a golem, and then I have a golem almost dead heading north. Now, if I had brought either wall breakers instead of that first jump spell, or had my golems separated a little bit earlier and headed north, both of them earlier, I think I would have had a chance at 3 stars. But my golems with no wizards following them, heading north there, are just going to die with no support team, and the rest of my army is going to kind of fizzle out around 75 to 80% damage done in this raid. Now, you can see that, if things had gone a little bit differently, I might have had the 3-star on this base as well. Now, I popped that Queen's ability, the Cloak, as soon as she targeted that multi-Inferno tower, and I didn't need to because her health was full, but my thought process behind that was take out the multi-Inferno tower, that way it wouldn't target the witches. So anyway, these are just things you want to keep in mind throughout an attack. It's just little small things, but I think this is going to continue to be a more and more popular strategy in the game, because it's just so effective, especially against these open layout bases. So if you take anything away from this video, guys, if you see an open layout base, go heavy on the witches. Follow these strategy keys, and please, guys, share with your clanmates. I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, and take care, guys.